Who's ready for that old competition rib right here in the backyard? Let's get started.
All right, the first thing we want to do to get started on our World Championship ribs, I've already got them out of the pack here. You can see I didn't do anything to them, minimal trimming. I skinned the membrane off the back, and I didn't even cut end bones off. These are the way the ribs come. The only thing I did was take a little bit of fat off right here on this one, and a little bit of fat off right here. That was it, hardly no trimming. These ribs didn't need nothing at all. It's fine to cut them out of the back, strip that membrane off if you want. You don't want that piece of shoe leather on there, in my opinion. Get it off, and then it's time to season these ribs. So for me, the first thing I do when I'm cooking at the World Championship or anywhere where any money's on the line, for me, I'm a little particular, and I'm going with some mustard, just some regular mustard as a binder. Not a lot, just a little bit. Now you're not gonna be able to taste this in the end. It just helps the rub here, and it's just something that I've been doing such a long time. I know a lot of people's not gonna agree with using mustard as a binder. We get it in our comments all the time. You don't have to use it. It's completely up to you. But for me, this is just a superstition that I've done. I'm doing it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is start off with a layer of my garlic jalapeno rub. Now you wanna get a good flavor pop of heat under there. I'm gonna get a good medium coat down. And once I lay a good medium coat of that down, I'm gonna come back with a little bit of our Competition BBQ Rub. So this rub was created specifically for us to go win the World Championship. We won our first one and second and then third in the rib division. So I would say that it's proved itself pretty consistently. And not only are we winning with it, we have tons of teams winning with it as well. Big thing about it, there's nothing to win at home but flavor. And if you're looking for the best flavor and the best color, I think we're one of the best rubs out there. But you choose you, you do you. All right, once we kind of get that patted in on the back side, I'm gonna flip that over and just repeat that process. Now, let's go down with that layer of mustard. Now we're gonna come back with that good layer of garlic jalapeno. Now once we get that good coat of that on there, we're gonna come back, top it off with that competition rub on the top side too. And once we get that all in there, we're just gonna pat it in. Make sure we're all seasoned up there. And we're basically ready to go on our grill. We've got our Smokin Brothers grill fired up. Let's get out here, get to it, and get these ribs on. All right, we're out here. We have our Smokin Brothers Premier Vertical fired up. You can see it's running at a steady 300 degrees. It's actually sitting at 301 right now. We're running these Royal Oak Hickory flavored charcoal pellets today. They always put off a perfect clean smoke. So let's get our unit open here. I'm gonna go in here. Let's get our rack out. And let's get this baby on. Big meaty rack here. All right, once we get those on, we're just gonna get that grill door shut, our smoker door anyway. Good thing about this Smokin Brothers, you can see it's insulated. It's got a nice powder coat finish on the outside. This is a barn style door is what they call it. But this is a great unit right here. It's insulated, it cooks very well, and you'll see these baby backs are gonna get a perfect color from the fuel choice we're using and the way this smoker just bellows smoke. Now I'm gonna set a timer for about the 2-hour mark to check these ribs, and that's about when I'm gonna wrap them 2.5 hours. When you're cooking on a pellet grill versus direct heat like a stick burner or a drum, your ribs are probably gonna have to go a little bit longer than they would be on a direct heat grill. And there's nothing wrong with that. This just has kind of a barrier, and the smoke and stuff comes up around where that direct heat's just rolling over the top on like a stick burner. So depending on what type of grill you're cooking on, your cooking times may vary, but don't worry. It's just about being patient and cooking that rib till it's ready to be wrapped. You always wanna make sure that rub is stuck on that rib before you wrap it. All right, it's been 2 hours and our ribs have been on our Smokin Brothers Premier Vertical right here. So you've already seen, I've got me some foil double pulled right here. I've got it on a sheet pan for a little wrapping trick I've got. Got my apple juice poured in my container for 2 slabs. Now we're going with the old butter bath. So for anyone that's not had this, it's as simple as using any kind of liquid of your choice. And I take 3/4 of a cup per slab, and I use a 1/4 cup, just like that. So I got enough for 2 slabs in here. I'm going with a 1/2 cup total. Now once I do that, I'm gonna seal my bag back up. This is enough to do 10 to 12 racks of ribs. And get my lid on my shaker bottle here and get it shook up. It's just like Elvis. You want to get it all shook up. And it looks like I didn't put that seal on there good. Well, I didn't tighten the damn thing. That might would have helped, right? Now I got liquid all over my foil already. Guess I should have tightened it, right? All right, now that we're all gloved up with heat gloves on, let's get in here. Look at that color. Now, when you can take your finger and not wipe that rub off, we know that rib is ready to be wrapped. Oh, that is smoking right there, y'all. That is what you call one good-looking slab of baby backs. So now it's as easy as opening up your shaker, pouring a little bit of liquid around it, simple as that. Now back on the pit for 1 hour. Look, there's that other pretty rack right there. Look at that. That rub stuck good. Beautiful color. Let's turn that over. Now you can take right here, this bone marrow pushes out. You can take and be meticulous and kind of get all that off if you want. I don't worry about it majority of the time. All right. Now, back on the pit. Now I'm gonna set a timer for 1 hour and look at these ribs. That'll be a 3-hour rib at 300 degrees, and to me, they're almost perfect at that time. You can pull them out. I could not even look at them, and I know they're gonna be done. They may not be as tender as I want them, so that's why I open them up and check them every single time before I put them to rest for a while, because every rib cooks a little different. Every animal's been treated a little different in its upbringing and going through the whole process of being processed. Let's just say that. So we'll be back in 1 hour. All right, we've been wrapped for 1 hour. We've had a total cook time of 3 hours on our Smokin Brothers vertical premiere here. Whew, these ribs are hot. Now let's go in here and check these beauties. Now this slab right here was a little bit smaller. You see we're getting that push-pull. Oh, that rib there is done. No doubt in my mind. Look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. That rib is perfect. Now you can see that. Let's go to this bone. Look at that. Wanting to bust through. Wanting to bust through. Oh yeah. Look at that. That right there is a perfect rib. Now that rib needs to lay there, kind of rest, right? It's hot. Those pores are gonna open up on it, and all that juice is gonna suck up in that rib just like a steak. You never wanna tear into it when you first finish it. You always wanna allow it to rest, let those juices kind of reconstitute into the meat, and then you glaze them up. Then you're guaranteed a moist, juicy, wonderful World Championship flavor profiled rib. We'll be back. We're gonna let these rest about a good 30 minutes out here on the counter just like this, and we're gonna sauce them up and get them back on our pit and show you what that World Championship rib is supposed to look like. All right, now that our ribs are resting right now, we need to go ahead and get that perfect sauce made. So let's start off by opening a bottle of our sweet barbecue sauce here. So I'm gonna go in with 1 part of sweet barbecue sauce. I'm gonna go in with 1 part of our competition sauce. And then I'm gonna go in with a 1/2 part of our apple habanero glaze. Now that right there looks about perfect for 2 slabs of ribs, probably a little more than I needed. So just for measurements, you wanna do a 1/2 cup of each and a 1/4 cup of the apple glaze. That would probably do it, but you just wanna make sure you're using 1 full part of each of the sauces and a 1/2 part of the glaze. But this is all we do for our sauce mixture for the judges at Memphis and May and other places. I don't complicate my sauce mixtures. I don't do any of that. And I don't actually heat my sauce back up. It's already been cooked by my co-packer and done all that. It's straight out of the bottle to mix and go. So I'm gonna give you, this is my piece of advice, what I've seen myself with my own 2 eyes. If you heat this sauce up on a burner really hot and get it bubbling, and then you cool it back down, the sauce is gonna be a little more spicier than it would be if you just do it right out of the bottle. So you're playing with your heat levels when you cook that sauce, in my opinion, a good bit. That's with my sauces. So you can cook it or not cook it depending on how spicy you want the sauce to turn out to be. And then as it thickens, of course, it will get a little hotter and a little darker. That's that perfect winning combo. All right, our ribs have been resting about 40 minutes out here. All right, now all we're gonna do is get the backs painted up and then turn them over and paint the fronts. All right, when we get the backs painted up, I'm gonna take a little bit more of that comp rub and a little bit of a light dust there. Now in competition, we sit here and pick some of those spots off, some of those dark spots, but it really don't matter at all. Once you kind of get enough sauce on them like you like here, I'm gonna come back with that little fine dusting here of that competition rub. Now this right here is what makes that perfect Memphis muddy style rib. Now we'll get these in here and get our door shut. Now we're gonna give these about a solid 10 to 15 minutes to kind of tack up. I'm gonna kind of clean my mess up a little bit, get ready to take them off and show you what that rack is supposed to look like. All right, our ribs have been on the grill about 15 minutes. Let's get in here, open this lid up, and let's slide this out. Woo, would you look at that? Those are some beautiful racks of ribs. Now I'm gonna take my tongs here, kind of slide under that. Look at that. Now, would you say that's a pretty good rack there, I would say. You know, but one good telltale sign, when you got these ribs like this right here, and they're just as pretty as they can be, and you can take that slab right there and just pick it up. Look at that. Look at that, wanting a break already. But you know something? I can take and hold that, hit that wiggle, and it still hadn't broke. To me, that's the perfect competition rib right there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and break it right in front of you. Look at this. Just as easy as you please right there. And that's what we're looking for those barbecue judges. That back of that rib is painted up and tacked up just like the front now. You got that beautiful smoke ring from those hickory and charcoal pellets off of here. But when you can take and just tear off those 2 to 3 bones like that right in front of the grill, look at that. Ooh-wee! That right there is a pure competition style rib. Doesn't get any easier, and we done it right here in the backyard on the Smokin Brothers Premier 30 vertical pit. I can tell y'all, I'm not even taking this one inside. Right here, that's a money shot. Let's give it a try. That's that old crab leg pull right there. If somebody was cracking them for you, you'd eat a lot more. Damn it. It don't get any better than that. Look at that rib bowl.
Damn, those are good. Dripping. That's how we do it. If you like what we're doing on our channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along. You can find us along with all your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and of course YouTube. We'll see you next week with another rockin' video.